The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We're back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, a villain real. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. And it is it's been really fun. I mean, I get to watch the Celtics collapse. That's always a really good time. You got Jewel Lloyd getting traded to the Aces. That's an amazing time. Bets are going good. Things are pretty up here. I'm having a good time watching this no fun NBA league that we have going on here. I mean, Paulo Banchero teched up for nothing. No fun at all. Pure no fun. They're over here creating injuries for LaMelo Ball, not giving him the all-star starter that we deserve. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with
To be fair, he got injured anyway, so I don't know if he would even. I don't know how long the injury is going to be, but he might not even be able to play.
That's you thinking with your third eye closed. My third eye is open, and I see they created that injury. They are jinxing LaMelo Ball to stop us from watching the All-Star game year round. We get to watch the All-Star game year-round with LaMelo Ball. They may not win games, but we were going to be entertained. And somehow the Lakers still only pushed the 5 against them last night. That seems horrible. All right, Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, can't complain. A pretty, I'd say, interesting NBA card yesterday. Hit the lock. Ended up having the Pelicans team total under. Flew under. Really bad road team. Toronto, by the way, not terrible. I'll put it that way. Then they've won like 6 of 7. Been pretty good. But either way, hit that. Ended up losing Nick Richards, who got benched the entire fourth quarter. Had his rebounds that didn't get there. But overall, can't complain. The Lakers game was pretty funny because I said exactly what would happen in the game. I said that they'd go up early and then take a nap in the fourth quarter. Lakers won to 10. That ended up getting there. That was pretty fun. But shout out to AD, who had a 20-point double-double in the first quarter, which is kind of insane. But besides that, shout out to Amin Thompson, who's really good at basketball. And, yeah, Joker had a monster game, triple-double. They lost anyway. You know that the Nuggets scored 84 points in the paint yesterday and they lost? They outscored Chicago like 84-36 in the paint and they lost the game. That's almost impossible to do. So, there you go.
And they were laying like 8 too.
Yeah.
Which is also
80-something points in the paint, though, is crazy. And they lost the game.
Here. Total points in the paint for the 84-38 was the points in the paint battle for the Denver Nuggets in that game. However, it doesn't matter. Because guess what? This is the new age NBA. Forget all of that points in the paint. We're going to go inside and we're going to attack. No, because the Chicago Bulls shot 24 for 53 from 3 and won the game.
It's
24 threes. They hit 24 threes in the game and won the game.
If you want to know why the NBA is so heavily 3-point based right now, this is the exact reason why. Because you can get torched by Joker for the entire game and still win.
7 games under 500. 7 games. And you go and beat the Denver Nuggets.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Shout out to Lonzo, by the way. Lonzo had a monster game. I think Lonzo had like 16 points.
Lonzo's been getting more minutes, too.
Yeah, no, he's been good.
Solid 25 minutes per game now. 18 points, 4 for 7 from 3 for Lonzo. I mean, the threes ladder just would have went crazy on the Bulls team alone. 24 threes is insane, but
yep.
Here we are. I don't know. Sometimes I hate it, but other times it's actually pretty insane. And then, yeah, That's it. We won't have much to talk about here. It's got a 4-game slate, a bunch of games on a back-to-back, one rescheduled game for the Atlanta Hawks and the Houston Rockets that we're going to see here. We'll talk about all of that in a second. But first things first, I got to talk to you about the big game coming soon to your TV screen. And because of that, we are giving away 15% off from now until February 9th in the SGPN merch store. You can go get you some NBA Gambling Podcast gear, some Tennis Gambling Podcast gear, WNBA Gambling Podcast gear. Again, did I ever tell you that Joe Lloyd got traded to the Aces? I mean, they just need a big. Once they get a big, this is all systems go here. Aces are going to win the title yet again. But make sure you go get some of that WNBA Gambling Podcast gear over there in the merch store, store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. And you can use that promo code Big Game and get that 15% off on everything in our merch store. All right, Scott, let's get to it. First game up on the docket, and it is potentially a doozy because we have the Los Angeles Lakers on the road going to play the Philadelphia 76ers. Lakers are laying 3.5. 216.5 is the total. This total just keeps dropping. We've got for the Lakers, nothing to report because they had a game yesterday. Don't have an early injury report, but same thing as always for the Philadelphia 76ers. No Joel Embiid, no Paul George, no Caleb Martin, no KJ Martin, no Andre Drummond. Yabusele is probable for the game, so it looks like he's going to play. So that's looking like a starting lineup of Tyrese Maxey, Eric Gordon, Kelly Oubre, Rick Council, and Yabusele. So, I mean, this is the game that the Lakers win. They beat up on bad teams.
It is a back-to-back, though, so you do wonder if they're going to sit anybody.
It's a possibility. So yesterday you had Rui, who did not play, and he could play today. You had Gabe Vincent, who didn't play. He could potentially play today. And then, as always, Christian. I mean, come on. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Christian Wood.
I forgot he was still in the league, to be honest.
But there is reports that Christian Wood could potentially make his debut tonight here in Philadelphia. But and we're not even going to talk about Jalen Hood Schifino. Really, really not going to talk about that. So, I mean, ultimately, you're going to probably have Braun, maybe AD, and Reeves. That's pretty much what you got to work with this Lakers team. But I mean, is it the Maxey go off game? That's the only way that I really see. Like, I can see Philadelphia winning the game, keeping it close, winning the game, but it has to be like in tune with Maxey going off for like 30 points.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's possible. I think it's a good matchup for Maxey. I mean, I don't know who's going to guard him because we know that the Lakers guards defensively are not very good. So I think it's a good matchup for Maxey. It really comes down to if you want to back the Lakers on a back-to-back or not, because they were able to beat the Hornets. They should have won the game by like 20 because LaMelo played 9 minutes and then they almost came back from like 25 down. So the point is the Hornets gave them a game at the end for no reason at all. But the Lakers, there's some travel involved. You could argue that maybe LeBron or AD sit. Who knows? I think I'll actually go Sixers in this game. I don't know. This line's dropped from 4 to 3.5. It feels kind of weird. You'd assume the Lakers should roll in this game, but the line movement I think is kind of sketchy. The back-to-back could be interesting. I think I'll just go Sixers, but I'm probably not going to bet this game. I think Maxey could have a solid matchup. Maybe if you want to make an argument for LeBron, triple-double maybe AD has a monster game, but I find it weird after winning the game against the Hornets, the line's dropped by about half a point. I find that kind of weird. It feels kind of trappy to me. Maybe Lakers 1-10, just run it back like I recommended in the game yesterday, but I do think it's a pretty weird overall line move here. So I'll go with the Sixers. I'll kind of just assume it's a trap line, and maybe the public's going to die. So I'll go with the Sixers plus the points.
Lakers, on the second leg of a back-to-back this season, are 4-1 against the spread. No, that's straight up. I'm sorry. 4-1 straight up, 3-2 against the spread. The 76ers, who are on the first leg of a back-to-back tonight, are 4-1 against the spread. So not good there. This is such an ugly game. Yeah. I really don't want to take this Lakers team. Give me the 76ers plus points, but I think that is better served just playing Maxey.
I mean, it's
And
tough to play the paper game because you look at the lineup and the Lakers should win this game pretty handily, but we know that they tend to
I
mess
don't know.
around
Do
with
you
their
look
team.
look at the? I mean,
Compared to the Sixers,
no. If Hachimura doesn't play, these rosters are not that much different. Like
I
they
don't know
both
about
very
that.
underwhelming. I mean, they have LeBron and they have AD, but LeBron and AD hasn't been anything for the Lakers in who knows how long.
Okay, so just to ask you, if we're comparing the starting lineups here, Maxey, I think we'd argue, is easily the third best player out of these two
Yeah.
teams because you got LeBron, AD in any order. Do you think Reeves is better than Kelly Oubre?
Yeah.
Then the Lakers have three of the best four players in the starting lineup.
Yeah, but then the 76ers have everything else because outside those three players, the Lakers team is shit.
I mean, are you a fan of Eric Gordon?
No,
You like
but
Ricky
I'm not a
Council?
fan of. I think that yeah, we could sit here and say because they have LeBron and AD on paper, they're better. But like, it's also the fact of LeBron and AD hasn't equated to wins for the Lakers in so long. So I kind of just go ahead and toss that out. And then I'm like, all right, so you got like they have the top three players, and maybe those three players carry them in the game, but I just don't feel good about betting that because I'm sitting here in the rest of the roster. I'm like, okay, I like Yabusele. Like he's a good, nice little piece. I actually do like Kelly Oubre. I think he's a solid little piece. Eric Gordon just kind of does whatever. And honestly, I don't know what he and Daryl Morey got going on that he's still in the league playing for him and all this. But I mean, this Lakers roster is really some shit, and they really play like shit a lot of times. And there's no reason that game should have been that close against the Hornets with the roster that they have. So
I do
that's
want to
really
give
the
props
concerning
though to
part.
the Sixers though, and it was a nice win against the Cavs from a couple days ago. That was a nice win there. They scored a bunch of points in that game. That might be the question mark for Philly. Do I think they could actually get enough stops defensively, which could be a problem? But they beat Cleveland. Well, that's still a good win. But I think it's a pretty interestingly low line. So I'll go with the Sixers.
Give me the under. Both of these two teams suck. Nobody's scoring.
All right.
But I will say, I do really, really like Reeves' assist. Really like Reeves' assist today. I'm gonna end up playing Reeves' assist, but there's a chance that I mean, yeah, the Lakers could have a letdown. I'm cool fading the Lakers again. I don't care. All right, let's move on to the next game of the slate. What do we got here? Oh wow. Up the Atlanta Hawks welcoming the Houston Rockets, coming off of a Thompson game winner against the Boston Celtics. Could be a letdown. They're laying 6.5 now. 226.5 is the total there. Injury report, and we've got. Can't really tell you too much about either of these teams because they both played a back-to-back yesterday. We're still waiting for all the bad information to come in, but I know who you're not going to see: Jalen Johnson.
He might be out for a while because
Yep.
he had a shoulder issue, he was playing through, then he hurt it again, and then he left early. So he might be out for a couple weeks. That wouldn't shock me. I mean, do you want to back Atlanta? Because this team, assuming that Trey might not play too, what do they have? They've been horrible. They've lost 5 straight. You could argue it's a get-up spot.
They're not even playing Bogdanovich anymore. They took him
No,
off the lineup. He was
they're
a healthy scratch yesterday,
and they were missing half their team.
and he was a healthy scratch.
You figure, like, even if you don't like Bogdanovich defensively and he has some flaws with his game, if you're missing that many guys, you figure,
He was
okay,
a
I might as well
healthy
give him
scratch.
a game. But they don't have anybody. Dyson Daniels didn't play yesterday. He has an ankle issue. Trey's been injured for the last couple of weeks at this point. He didn't play the game yesterday. I don't know who for Atlanta's going to play. Like, that's kind of the problem you're running into. And yes, Houston.
David Roddy, he's for sure playing.
Roddy's going to play. I actually don't mind Roddy. Reese Shea, number 1 pick in the draft, people forget about. But I think Atlanta's just a mess. Like Houston, yes, you could argue it's a letdown spot. I think he started yesterday. It was a big win for Houston. Went into Boston. Dylan Brooks had like 36 points. Had the franchise record in threes, which is crazy. But the point is that Houston, we know, is a top-tier team in the league record-wise. They have a lot of talent. I think they could give Houston problems because they're a very good defensive team against guards. And I think that Atlanta's offense is very guard-oriented, whether Trey plays or not. So I think Atlanta is really just in a world of hurt for this game. They've been bad at home in general compared to usual years. Houston's been great on the road. They've been a really good road team, which has kind of been an issue for Udoka over the years. But I do think looking at the overall matchup, Houston's a bad matchup for Atlanta anyway. And they might be missing arguably their 3 best players. So I think I have to go Houston. You could argue it's a letdown spot, but do you want to back Atlanta? Because I really don't. Do you?
No, shoot, you ain't got to tell me no. And the fact is that they played up in that game yesterday, but again, they were missing 6 players, and you're looking, they went really, really down far in the depth chart, and it just Houston is legit one of the best teams in the league,
Yeah.
and I think that I would buy this spot of Atlanta, even with people out, maybe being able to get up for this game if this was somebody that's not legitly one of the best teams in the league. I really don't know how Atlanta's supposed to score, and I think an Atlanta team total under is actually in play for this one. If
I'm not
everybody
against
doesn't
that.
play, I'm really am interested in Atlanta team total under because I don't know how they're supposed to score because I think Houston's defense is better than Minnesota's defense, and they went on the road and put up 92 points against Minnesota last
If we're
night.
talking about defense, by the way, do you know that fun fact? Jason Tatum had the same amount of points as us in the first half yesterday.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum had
He was
0
like 0
points
for
in the first
5,
half.
right?
I think he was 0 for 8.
Yo,
But
but they have wing defenders, like
Yeah, they do.
wing defenders, athletic wing defenders, don't prioritize scoring, but can score, and they handle business. This Rockets team, I don't know why they don't want Jimmy Butler.
The
I mean,
Rockets
I
team,
get
well,
why
right now,
everybody doesn't want Jimmy
chemistry-wise,
Butler, but I feel like, man, it just feels like they're one more thing is going to put them over the top and really have people talking about Houston as a threat to win the championship, but they just don't have it yet. They need that one player, and they
well, the
got to
question
find
I'd
him.
have for you, though, is if you were Houston, you have to make salaries match. Who would you hypothetically trade for Jimmy Butler?
Probably not for Jim. Well, for one, this is going to be an extremely hot take because I don't think anybody is thinking about it. But if I'm Houston looking at this roster, I'm not trading him for Jimmy Butler, but I am considering moving on from Jalen Green.
Really? Because Green's been good for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he has, but like, do you want to win championship or do you want somebody that's just going to be really good? Like, he's really good, but is he going to lead you to a championship
I
good?
guess the counterpoint would be, though, if you have Amon and you have Butler on the floor at the same time, is your floor spacing going to be screwed?
And yeah, so that may not, but I'm like, man, don't you look at this Houston team and like, man, Houston's like really close. Like every time you watch them play, you're like, they're really close. Like they
I think
could
they
win a
are.
series.
The problem is late in games, they tend to have some issues, but apparently got
But
resolved
and
yesterday.
as soon as they find that guy, again, it probably isn't Jimmy. And so like, and I get why they don't want Jimmy. And so like, but it's like, man, who is that person that Houston could go out there and get? And that could be a legit scorer for them every single night and night in, night out, whenever you need a bucket and can close games for them. Once they find that consistently, I really like Houston. Houston, like they defend. Ime's really, really built this roster, and it feels like this is going to be Houston being competitive for a bunch of years, just like how Boston was competitive. And then they just got to wait and find that one piece.
Well, that's the problem Houston kind of runs into, is that you could argue that they're in the Thunder spot from last year, where your team is very talented, your team's very young, but you've been so, I'd say, successful with your current roster and the current growth of your players. You might just not make a move and just see how far you can go and then make some moves in the offseason. So I don't expect the Rockets to really do anything.
They probably don't do anything right now, but I do. I think a move is in the future.
I think it is too, but you're looking at the roster.
Very
and
interesting.
You have Amon, who's going to be really good. Amon's going to be a really good player. Easton's great defensively, with Amon especially. I think Brooks gives you a certain amount of swagger and an overall edge. Şengün's been very solid. Jalen Green, if you were going to make a move, it probably would involve Green or Dillon Brooks.
It would have to. Like, it had to be somebody of value, but not
unless
too
you think
much
it's
value that
Şengün.
destroys your team.
Unless you think it's Şengün, you have a case for like a serious elite center, but that would be your counter argument. But at the end of the day, Jalen Green probably is the piece that would hypothetically move. You get a more of a two-way guy, but I think they're just going to see what the ceiling is with the current roster and move on. That's kind of where I'm at. But
yeah, you go into a playoff series and you be competitive. You might lose, and then you're like, all right, we see where we're at, and we see what we need to do. Chat's dropping some suggestions. Jordan Clarkson, Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson is the most sought after not free agent, but sought after trade asset. Like. In the league right now.
His contract's really, really good, but to be honest, as a Nets fan, if a team's offering 2 first-round picks for Cam Johnson, I'm driving him to the airport. Like I don't think he means that much to a team. I think he's good, but like 2 first-round picks, sure, I'll take that.
Bradley Beal, I can't imagine where I cannot imagine where Bradley Beal ends up right now.
The only argument would be Beal for Butler because the salaries somewhat match up, and maybe that would work out. But Phoenix has been good lately. I mean, Beal's kind of coming off the bench, but
Miami realized they was like, oh yeah, that was a horrible idea. No way. Glad we didn't do that.
The funny joke though is that with the Heat's current struggles, they're actually like fighting for first place. They beat the Magic. They might actually be in first place right now in that division.
Yeah.
That division's really bad, in case people haven't noticed. So
Heat, Magic, Hornets, Hawks, all in that division.
see people mentioning Vucevic. That doesn't really fix anything though, because the argument for Şengün is he's not a great defensive player, and you want to improve defensively in the middle. But
Offensively,
Vucevic is not a
Şengün
good
gives you
defensive player
everything.
either. Yeah, Vucevic I like, but I think that Şengün give you a bit more
Yeah,
creation.
bring back
in the
Tracy
offense.
McGrady. Yeah, Tracy
That's an
McGrady is
option.
100%. That's the piece that they need. They need Tracy McGrady on this roster. All right,
McGrady, you bring in maybe Ron Artest,
and you can hide him defensively a little bit too. Yeah. Oh, Ron Artest. Oh my God.
I wonder what Shane Battier is up to. Maybe he could help out with the current roster.
Fuck Shane Battier. All right, moving on. I
I'll
can't
tell you
believe
what,
you brought a Shane Battier.
I don't like Duke, but I actually like
fuck
Battier
Shane
in the
Battier.
pros. I thought Battier was a pretty good role player in the pros.
Fuck Shane Battier. All right.
Why do you hate Shane Battier?
Why do you not hate Shane Battier?
I don't know. Like I don't like Duke, but
him?
as a pro, I didn't mind Shane Battier as a pro. He was like a consummate professional. I didn't mind him.
Nah, fuck Shane Battier.
I'm saying, what do you do to
random hate for Shane Battier?
Do you hate him because he was like the Kobe, like he was viewed as the Kobe stopper, and Kobe would kick his ass? Like what do you have against?
He was not a Kobe stopper.
I didn't say he was. I just said that that was the reputation he had. Is that why you don't like him? What Shane Battier do to you?
That was not his reputation.
No, that was what people tried to
claim.
Shane
Battier's reputation was being a line in a rap song.
Okay. Is that like Batum?
Yeah, exactly like that. 100% like
I didn't have anything against Battier in the pros. I actually like Battier in the pros.
SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost to Premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card declined at the sports book, DFS site, sweepstakes site, any of that. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. Best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today and use that promo code SGPN to get your cash back rewards and an instant 2-tier status. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Look, it's your place to bet every single sport over at MyBookie. They have props as well and live dealer casino that you can go in there and tap into. MyBookie accepts customers from a bunch of different locations, and you can easily deposit and get lightning fast. And when I mean it's super fast, I mean the payouts are incredibly, incredibly fast. You won't even know it, and it's already hit your crypto account. So make sure you go and use those lightning fast payouts using crypto. So go to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And for 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Yeah, it's easy not to like a lot of Duke guys too. Like
we're talking about least hated, and Ian saying that it might be Tatum. I think my argument would be Grant Hill, but you can make some arguments for some least hated Duke guys.
Yeah, no, I don't hate Grant Hill.
That's what I'm saying. I think Grant Hill wasn't really a hated Duke guy. So, either way.
Shane Battier.
I didn't realize you had a personal vendetta against Shane Battier.
He just looks really annoying. Like
he just revved up.
Guys, I just seen him talking to somebody too on like they did a TikTok and he was talking to somebody on campus and I'm like, ew, why did Shane Battier show up on my TikTok? Immediately swiped up. I didn't want to see any of that.
I don't know. I've heard some podcasts with Battier. I think he's a very smart guy. I enjoy listening to him talk basketball.
I'm sure he is. All right, next game up. We've got the Utah Jazz on the road going to play the Golden State Warriors. Warriors laying 12.5.
Okay. All right. Sure.
229.5 is the total. Injury report here. And we've got, what is this? No Draymond. He's still dealing with that strained left calf. And Kuminga's not even close. Yikes. All right. I can't really tell you much. I know John Collins, because of the sick report, didn't play yesterday. So that's to watch out. We'll see if he can make a tremendous recovery today. Kessler did not play because of a shoulder injury yesterday. We'll see if he'll be able to go. Cody Williams is still out for an ankle injury. I don't think he's returning. And then we have Johnny Juzang also out. He was out yesterday with the hand injury. I don't think he's coming back from a fractured hand either. So we'll see about Collins and Kessler. Everybody else, I'm pretty sure, is still going to be out.
So just to ask, I know it's going to sound harsh, but based on the last couple
Utah
of,
plus 12.5.
Can I play the drop for this game?
No.
I can't play the drop for this game?
No.
No toilet bowl drop?
No, they're 22 and 23.
I know, but this team sucks.
Yeah, they suck, but they're 22 and 23.
Okay,
No,
just
we're not.
saying.
We're not overusing the drop.
Okay.
Because
Saying
once
Golden
it gets
State might have earned
oversaturated,
this.
it's like the market. When it gets oversaturated, it's not as fun anymore.
I think Golden State might have earned the drop at this point, but fair enough.
No, they haven't.
Okay.
No, they haven't. They're 22 and 23. Utah has 10 wins, and we're in February. We're almost in February.
No, Utah's guaranteed to get the drop. I'm saying Golden State. You can make an argument for it.
No, it doesn't. No, I'm not allowing it. However, there is no way I'm leaving 12.5 with Golden State. And the fact is, this line is going up. Completely eat shit on this, and I'm perfectly fine. There is no way I'm laying 12.5 with Golden State. No way.
Honestly,
Like,
I'll make an argument for Jazz money line. Like, I'll just come out.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was about to say, I thought you say I'd make an argument for Golden State. Yeah,
Golden State's terrible. The funniest part of the season was the Steph Curry press conference after the Lakers game. You hear that? I'm assuming you heard it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't hear it, a reporter told Steph the team's like 1-20 this season when trailing after 3 quarters. And at that moment, Steph realized his team was trash. He just realized it at that moment. The team's awful. But the point is, the Warriors should not be laying 12.5 to anybody. I get the argument as the Jazz played yesterday. They might be sitting some players. I doubt Laurie plays. He sits almost every game anyway. John Collins missed yesterday's game with an illness. He might not play in this game too. So I get why the line's gone up, but why would I want to lay 12.5 with Golden State? Every Golden State game is an adventure, and it's usually not a fun one. Give me the Jazz plus the points. That's where I'm at least. This team's horrible.
I mean, does it even matter? I think that's the part for me. Like, if anybody else, if they have some type of rotation change, if they're sitting a bunch of people, doesn't matter. Because if Kessler ends up sitting, if Collins ends up sitting, if Markin ends up sitting, if Clarkson ends up sitting, this line is going to balloon up even more. And at that point, even if Warriors minus 11, minus 12, wherever it's at, even if that's a good bet in the moment, it's not going to be a good bet when this line gets to like 15 or whatever that they're valuing the Warriors at. I'm actually curious on what the power rankings are for the Warriors that you have them laying 12.5 here. Like this, I actually don't get it. If you look at the Warriors over the last 5 games, they are a bottom third team in terms of defensive points allowed. They can't score the basketball as well. Actually, the Jazz have a better scoring offense over the past 5 games than the Golden State Warriors. And I would argue the Jazz played a better schedule. They just came off a 3-game monster playing OKC, Memphis, and Milwaukee. Golden State has played the Lakers, where they lost, Chicago, where they blew them out. And I guess maybe that's where this line is coming from, because
I still don't even know where that came from, because the Bulls, I don't think, are that bad. They saw them beat the Nuggets the game after.
It's the Bulls thing. The Bulls are a 500 ball club, so they're going to, they do what 500 ball clubs do. And sometimes they randomly get blown out. Then you had the Kings, which is better now, but it's the Kings. They completely, utterly, at all, were not even anywhere close to in the game in Boston. No. And then they beat the Wizards and didn't cover 13.5. They didn't cover 13.5 against the Wizards. Good luck if you're laying this. It's Jazz plus 12.5. This is consideration for lock territory. They're clearly not watching the Warriors play basketball.
That's where I'm at. There's no reason for me to want to lay 12.5. I see that Thomas mentioning that he took Golden State last night. You got a good line. Tell you that much. It could be a line move, but I can't go anywhere near Golden State. It's either
good luck. Good luck.
Can't do it.
There's no way. There's no way. Over. Because did you hear the defensive stats that I said for Golden State? Somehow, some way, the Utah Jazz are much, much worse. much worse. This is how the Jazz find themselves in games. Go look at the if you want to see like crazy foolishness of how the Jazz end up covering games, go back and watch the game between them and the Pelicans.
Yeah.
And the back and forth high scoring affair that those two teams had. Like, those are ways that the Jazz just randomly cover games. I'm perfectly fine. Give me the Jazz plus 12.5. I love the over 229.5.
I think I'll agree with you on the over, but once again, there's no way I can take Golden State laying 12.5. I think you can argue it's a toilet bowl game. I know you disagree. I'm not laying 12.5 with a fringe toilet bowl game. That's crazy. That I can't do. I'll go with Utah to keep it close.
Golden State's early season success made this not a toilet bowl game. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? We reward that because they did start the season 12-3. And then they proceeded to go, 10-20.
Yeah, that's kind of why I said it might be a toilet bowl, because 10-20 does suggest this team is bad.
Yeah, but they went 12-3 to start.
No,
so.
I know. I'm saying
And
overall record-wise, I
honestly,
get it.
honestly, truly, once Kuminga comes back, this is going to be a completely different roster.
It is.
They are doing exactly what I thought was going to happen. As soon as you take Kuminga off the team, they are complete shit. Once Kuminga gets back on, they're probably going to go on some type of run and then be like 3 or 4 games above 500 by the time the year's over.
I can't say this team is, once again, as bad as some of the other garbage teams in the league, but it might just be based on how we've talked about Golden State and how I've perceived Golden State. They get so much respect from the markets, and they're awful every time. Like, it just feels like the odds makers give them so much credit for doing nothing, and I've made a lot of money fading them. That's kind of where I'm at.
You cannot bet Golden State without Kuminga.
Yeah, pretty much.
You cannot bet them without Kuminga. That is like literally impossible. I can't do it. All right. I said over. Yeah, cool. Next game up. Well, before we do that, got to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy, one of the biggest menus of fantasy projections for all sports. You can lock in on college basketball, MMA, NFL. Only got one more NFL game, man. Holy crap. It's about to be our show. We're about to be the only thing in town here. NBA, NASCAR, all of that over there at Underdog. Use a bunch of their specials and boost on the flex entries, and you can sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Claim a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps bettors of all levels be able to build custom predictive betting models over there at Rhythm. You can also use their power of data and AI to lock in on a whole bunch of NBA props as well. Let's look at here, and the top prop on the board. Let's see. They have a number of things they like. Wow, look at all of these recommended bets over there at Rhythm. I can't give them all out because, come on, why would I give out all the sauce? Like, all the sauce? No, I can't give out all the sauce. But they have, like, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these are all above 70% win probability as well. You guys really got to go get this app and lock in. Get that 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. I'll give you out the top prop they have on the board. They are fading DeAndre Hunter, taking his under 5.5 rebounds and assists. He's going under that line at 4 straight.
I like how he was questionable yesterday and he dropped like a casual 35. Didn't matter because they lost the game. It's like, yeah, maybe he'll play, maybe he won't. 35 points. Just, yeah.
Hey, man, that's what happens. The questionable tag is the thing that gives them power sometimes. It really, really does. Where are we at here? Yeah, 7 and 10. 7 out of his last 10, he's gone under this line as well. So that is one of Rhythm's favorite props on the board. DeAndre Hunter under 5.5 rebounds and assists. Make sure you lock in with Rhythm. All right. Let's see here.
We got one game left.
The Milwaukee Bucks on the road going to play the Portland Trail Blazers. Game of the night, because it is what has actually been a rivalry. And in the last 2 games, it's been a one-sided rivalry, but not on the side that you thought. Portland's catching 5.5 here at home. 229 is the total. This total's dropping. Injury report here, and Bucks played yesterday. Can't give you much, but DeAndre Ayton is questionable for this game. We'll see if he misses. What's this, game number 4? I think, with that knee injury, if he misses. And Matisse Thybulle's not a person. All right.
Portland randomly competitive against this team. You figure with Dame, revenge, but no, not really. Portland's kind of done pretty well against this team.
Portland has covered 4 of the last 5 games against this team. They've won the last 2 outright. 1 in Portland, 1 in Milwaukee. They were 10.5-point dogs and 12-point dogs in both of those 2 games. But this isn't that large of a number, and that's the only concerning thing about it.
It feels like the Lakers game all over again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Portland's better, at least based on the recent head-to-head record, et cetera, against this team. But 5.5 or 6, I mean, Milwaukee kind of coasted against Utah. Dame and Giannis destroyed that damn team. But I might just go Portland. Portland's actually been decent lately. I think that Milwaukee on a back-to-back, it's another one of those games where maybe I'm treating it like the Lakers game, where I'm just looking at the line going, why is it so short?
Yeah.
It was 6.5 last night. Now it's down to 5.5. Like,
yeah, that's really killing me. I feel like I have to take Portland here too. And it's not like they haven't been like, okay, they had the really good road run going to the East Coast. Granted, they got very, very lucky with the teams that they played on the run. They went and they played Chicago, played Miami, played Orlando, and Orlando was dealing with injuries in that game. And I think Franz Wagner had just came back. I think that was like his first game back. And then Charlotte, and nobody played for Charlotte. And then they come back home and put up a good showing against OKC. Ended up losing by 10, and that's the concerning part, is that they still lost by 10, but they ended up covering a 14-point line. So I personally am, and I think that's the only reason why I haven't run to bet this, is because I'm kind of like torn between Portland's just going to beat this team again and the fact of, all right, this line might be too short and this could be a 1-10 type of line for the Milwaukee Bucks, where Portland looks competitive and ends up losing the game late. I'm kind of split on that, so I'm with you. I'm cutting the difference. I'm just taking Portland plus points.
yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. If you want to go Milwaukee, maybe Milwaukee 1-10, but Portland once again has actually won some games against this team. So I think the line movement is pretty telling to me that maybe somebody sits in this game for Milwaukee. It wouldn't totally shock me, but I'll go Portland. I feel like they've been competitive against this team. They match up pretty well against this team. 6.5 to 5.5, pretty telling. I think the public will be all over Milwaukee, so I don't mind going for a little bit of a contrarian angle in this one.
Dame's been up and down against Portland as well. He's had some big games, though.
He's been really good lately, though. 2 triple-doubles and like a 30-piece last night. He's been really good.
Yeah. I think this is the back and forth, and I'm surprised this line is going down, because I think these two teams are about to run the score up. Portland's been really good to the over at home, 14-8 to the over. I get that Portland defensively looks really, really good right now, but again, do you remember the teams that I read off on Portland's road trip? Chicago, Miami, Orlando, and Charlotte. Like, they just locked in and beat up on a bunch of 500 or under teams, and then they went back to OKC and they let OKC score 118. So, like, I think that both of these two teams can score. I think the pace can get up a little bit in this game. Kind of contrarian. Give me an over in this one.
Is 118 to the Thunder even bad?
That
sounds fine. That sounds fine. That's not even that terrible. But
and that's where I kind of think that this gets. Like, I think that both of these two teams are both like 118, 115 type deal, and we end up creeping over by a few points. Like, it feels like that's how this is going to go, because I really do think that Portland's going to get up for this game, and if Milwaukee's scoring, Portland's going to match.
Yeah, I'm not against that. I see a theory from True that Kessler's going to get traded by today. They've been rumored to trade Kessler for a while, but it seems like all the offers aren't close to what Utah actually wants. So I don't see Kessler being traded.
Wonder what their value on Kessler is.
What do you think he's worth? Because I think he's actually very good.
What does Utah possibly want? Doesn't Utah have like 5 first-round picks?
This is Danny Ainge we're talking about. Danny Ainge is in an arms race in 2031 with Presti. Trying to get
like you just fleeced what's the name for the Rudy Gobert trade. Like, you don't want to. All right, like, we don't have to try to get the sun, earth, and the moon for all these guys, because we got that for Rudy Gobert.
But you have to remember, though, the Jazz can't be competitive because they have the Suns' first-round pick in 2031 to draft the 8th grader. So they can't be too good. They're trying to balance it. No, they don't actually try to win. Danny Ainge is rebuilding the entire team, and it's never going to end. So, yeah, who knows? Kessler, I don't know what he's actually worth. I think he's worth more than people think. I'm with Utah on this one. I think Kessler's very good. Good defensive player, block shots, good rebounder. Offensively,
Yeah.
you could argue that he needs some work because he's not a great offensive player, but I think he's solid. I'd like
I'm trying
Kessler
to
on my
figure out why
team.
they're trying to sell him. Why is he on the market? Why is he available? I feel
The
like out of
entire
anybody
team's
on
on
this
the
team,
market.
that's the one person that I would not have available.
John Collins on the market. I'm sure you have Sexton on the market. That's kind of my point. Ainge is treating this team like a garage sale. It's what he's doing. It just is what it is.
He's just I can see Danny Ainge walking
He's just
past
presenting.
and so no, he's bringing everybody through the locker room and he has a price gun and
Pretty
he's
much.
marking down players on the locker room.
I
Hey,
imagine it's
all
like
he's
one of
got
those.
is for sale.
It's one of those people that are like in the jewelry selling business or like in one of the random markets, and it's like, listen, for you, I'll give a special price. I'll do one first-round pick and 2 second-rounders. It's like he's giving you discounts at the actual store because he really wants to get rid of everybody on the roster. Yeah, Ainge isn't serious about winning. They're just
Yeah,
trying to
like
blow up
why
this
is it
team.
like I'm just trying to figure out why because literally this is now Laurie Marketing, John Collins, Colin Sexton. You're telling me Walker Kessler is going to be like why
Markkanen's been
is
linked to
literally
trades for
everybody
3
on the trade
years.
block?
Markkanen's been linked to trades for 3 years, and he's also like really good at basketball. And you're like, why are you trying to get rid of everybody worth a damn on your team? And it's like, you know what? Nah, like we're fine with just giving you whatever. No, we want picks. We'll be good in 2035.
He
It's like,
was
all
an
right, great.
all-star. When's the last Donovan Mitchell? Is that not the last all-star that they've had?
I don't know who else would be worth a damn enough to actually be an all-star.
Yeah, like who
Was Gobert there an extra year, or Mitchell was there without
I
Gobert?
guess Gobert. I really
I'm
I
trying to
thought
remember who
about
left
Rudy. I
first.
don't count Rudy Gobert. I
But I'm
think
saying,
he
I think
got
they
it
might have
because
left at
he's
like
the
the
big.
same time. So then maybe that's the argument. But no, Utah's not serious about winning. They're just a never-ending garage sale.
Wow. Are there any Utah Jazz fans that listen to this show? I would love to hear your opinion of this team. I
I
would
mean, I think they'd have
love,
to agree with us because they don't actually try to
love.
win. As soon as they have a good player, they try to trade him.
Yeah.
They're like the Oakland A's of the NBA.
I know there's got to be at least one actual Utah Jazz fan
That's
that
my
listens to the
comp.
show.
The
Please reach
Utah
out
Jazz are the Oakland A's of the NBA. That's my comp.
at reallyreal__ or at SGPN NBA. Please reach out, Utah Jazz fan. I'm very curious on the thought of the team. I need to hear from the voice itself. And I'm sorry, but I don't know any Jazz fans in person.
Is Dwayne Wade still a part-time owner of that team? Just asking. Does he have a say in anything?
I think he is.
I know Brady's been reinventing the entire Raiders organization. I'm just wondering if Dwayne Wade's doing anything.
Yeah, he's still got the
He
stock.
still is? Okay.
Yeah. This is hilarious. All right, let's get into it. Lock, dog, underdog. All right, I'm torn, Scott. I do want to be funny at Fade Golden State, but I'm sorry. The banter about the Jazz just kind of got me off that completely.
It's fair.
So I was very much prepared to lock up Golden State. We should have never had that Jazz banter right before the lock section. That I'm not gonna lie, that changed it up.
I mean, we only have 4 games, so we do have time to banter. So there you go.
That's a great question. Has anybody ever been to Salt Lake City?
That's a good question.
The chat is on fire today, yo.
Is there a lake in Salt Lake City? Nobody knows. Nobody's ever been there. Nobody knows.
Also, fun fact: the chat's on fire today. The Jazz have the lowest available salary cap. Why do you have it available? What's the purpose?
Is that even true?
I'm gonna have to look it up. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, Ian, instead of seeing the movie, I ended up seeing Book of Mormon instead, which I feel is close enough. But I saw that on Broadway.
I wonder what they paid for. I'm curious what they paid for it. They have the lowest available salary cap. Like, what were you paying for? Or did you just kind of give it all away? But I mean, I get you.
I don't think it's the Gobert contract because Minnesota extended him. I think Minnesota's paying him at this point, so I don't know. But
at least it's not baseball where we have a salary cap and teams go spend A's.
That's who might actually trade for Walker Kessler. That's who's going to trade for Walker Kessler. The Los Angeles Dodgers.
The Dodgers are going to trade for Walker Kessler.
They might be in the business for Walker Kessler. You know, they might be interested.
All right, lock. Houston -6.
Okay.
Really went back and forth between locking up Utah and Golden State over and just fading the Hawks again.
Okay.
I might regret not going to. No, I'm still going to bet Utah on the over. I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to give out Houston. I don't know. I don't know how Atlanta's supposed to score. I really don't know
I don't
how they're
either.
supposed to score. I think even if Trey and like some of those guys come back, I still think it's going to be tough sledding the score in Houston. I think this is a defensive masterclass by Houston, and if it's that, then more than likely they're probably going to end up covering 2 possessions. So Houston -6, lock dog. Oh, I want to spit in the face of the Lakers so bad and lock up the 76ers, but that team sucks.
They really do.
Does Portland punch them in the mouth tonight? They are off a back-to-back. Portland does have rest. Yeah, give me
Listen,
Portland plus 150 first half.
Okay.
They get it. They win the first half, and then second half. That's when Portland collapses. But they handle business in the first half, they play up. So yeah, give me Portland plus 150 in first half.
All right. So for my lock, I'll go with Houston as well, but I'll take it slightly differently. Give me Houston halftime, full time. That's -110 on ESPN bet. It's -165 on DraftKings, so you're just going to save me 50 cents. Sure, I'll take it. I appreciate it. I think Houston gets off to a good start. They're one of the best first half teams in the league. Atlanta's dead. I think Houston shows up and gets an early lead. Then they'll win both the halftime and the full time. -110 though as my lock. For my dog, you know what? I'll get weird with it. In honor of the Utah slander, give me Utah plus 8.5 at plus 170 in this game. Give me an alt spread. Every Golden State game is just a circus, and I don't want to lay this with Golden State, so I'll be weird with it. Give me Utah to lose, somewhat close. 3 possessions even covers it at 7. So give me Utah plus 8.5 against the Warriors. There's no planet I'm laying this with Golden State. So give me Utah with an alt spread.
Scott.
Plus 170? Come on, that's a great.
I mean, that was I'm not
$8.
gonna lie, Scott. That was a sharp tease. 8 is kind of a key number in the NBA. A lot of games
Kind of is. That's when you
kind
stop
of
fouling.
finished at 8. So you got a good number.
7 or 8's the number where you officially take that shot clock violation with like a 5-second differential to end the game. So yeah, I'll go with once again Utah to lose, but to not get their asses kicked. Plus 170. I think it's a great deal.
No,
that's where I'm at.
It's a very good play. Man, number of the chat's killing Utah. I can't even go through all this. The chat's killing Utah right now. Man. All right. Let's see. Dang, 160 million total salary cap. And that's the lowest in the league. Wow, so they're not paying.
I'm trying to think of what there is to do in Utah besides go to a hockey game or go to a basketball game. You go visit.
There's a
You visit the Tabernacle. Like, what are you supposed to do?
It's a what's it called? Reality show. It's a reality show about Utah, and it's called The Secret Life of Mormon Wives.
Real Housewives of Mormon County? Like what? I don't know.
Something like that. Very, very funny stuff, though. I will admit that is probably the best thing going in Utah right now. Is that show? That is probably the best thing going in Utah. I don't know. Is Utah Hockey Club good?
Not really, but as far as I know, people actually go to their games.
Oh, okay.
That counts, I guess.
When the game sells out, that's the most popular area in the state.
Do you remember when the All-Star game was like in Utah and all the stars complained that there was no nightlife and they couldn't do anything in Utah? You remember that like from a couple of years ago?
And it was like frozen.
It was frozen and they had no bars. You couldn't do anything. So everyone was just mad.
Horrible
in Utah.
Horrible All-Star location. No idea.
It was very bad. You went from like Utah to Cleveland. Like nobody was happy for like a couple of years. But Cleveland's better than Utah for partying purposes.
Man, how long has this Utah slander gone on? This has been about 10 minutes of just straight bagging on Utah. If there was any favorite, any stuff, it's horrible.
To be fair, I don't even know if you can actually gamble in Utah. Like I'd assume that's not legal in Utah. So I don't really know if anyone from Utah will be watching the show, but who knows?
They're not supposed to be. I don't think
they're
supposed to be gambling.
If
you can't drink, I'm pretty sure you can't gamble.
Fair point.
So we probably don't have any people that Utah fans that watch the show. All right. What's Underdog talking about? Who's cooking today?
I'm curious who's going to play in half these games.
Let's go ahead and throw the
Reeves on back-to-backs.
Let's go ahead and throw the Reeves higher 6.5 assists in there.
Sure, fine with that. You want to go maxi points?
Yeah.
If we're picking them to keep it close, Max is going to kind of have a monster game.
Never complaining about that. 30. So what's that? 29.5 higher. And we can close it out. We can go for a Dame revenge game. We can go for some random Houston player to have a good game against Golden State's defense. But good luck knowing who's going to start.
Do you want to just go with Dame like PA because he's had a bunch of assists lately? We'll go with his points and assists.
Let's see what that line is. Damn, no, that's points, rebounds, and assists. Okay, thought that was high. Oh, that still is kind of high. 35.5.
Sure. I'm fine with that. He's been flying over lately.
Okay. I'll buy it. I'm not mad.
Dame is a monster game. Milwaukee loses anyway. I kind of like that script.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Reeves higher, 6.5 assists. We got Maxey higher, 29.5 points. So we got Dame higher, 35.5 points and assists. Yeah, I'm sold on the Dame angle. This is pretty good. All right. $100 gets you $600 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. That is NBA SGPN. Wait, what?
What?
We drove. Oh, he's talking about Utah. Oh, okay.
Most of Utah's gonna be cold weather stuff. You go skiing.
No, but it said to Zion. I don't know why I was thinking about Zion Williamson.
There's no way Zion Williamson would ever want to voluntarily step foot in Utah. I heard the Utah strip clubs are not that good, so
I actually wouldn't be surprised if New Orleans, when they finally get sick and tired of it, do some crazy nut thing and send Zion to Utah. Like I would. That's purely the player that Danny Ainge is looking for.
Yeah,
guy that doesn't play that often, but when he does play, no distraction at all. When he does play, he's freaking amazing, but he doesn't play all the time. It seems perfect for Utah.
He also gets load management like every other game, so he's going to fit in perfectly with Laurie and with like John Collins. It's a perfect fit. So,
I'm so sold. I'm so sold on Utah.
I imagine Utah is very nice.
After all of this shit talk, I am so sold. I'm going back and I'm betting Utah plus 12.5.
If you are a fan of like outdoor stuff, I'm sure Utah's nice. I'm not an outdoor guy. I don't like cold weather, so it's really just not for me.
It says the guy that went to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I know. I got sick every single winter. Wisconsin, though, we drank heavily, so like that was different. I was getting drunk like multiple times a week. I kind of miss those days, to be honest.
Jesus Christ, Scott.
Just being honest.
Scott hates the cold, and he went to Wisconsin. Is from New York.
Who do you think was like somewhat responsible for finishing the kegs at night? That was me. I was on the drinking committee. So I was
the
going
drinking committee.
Yeah, I was president of the drinking committee actually. So I had a responsibility. Just get drunk all the time in college.
No delegation. I handle all the business myself.
I volunteered as tribute. No, I was not delegating anything, but I drank all the time in Wisconsin to stay warm.
Oh, I would love to see Scott in college. Sounds hilarious.
It was a great time.
All right, he's at Right Show Radio. I'm at __. We've given you some good. I'm telling you, the Jazz are 100% covering now. After 20 minutes of bagging on the Jazz,
8.5.
That is how this show goes. You talk shit about a team, and then they come have one of the greatest games of their lives. Like I'm 100% betting the Jazz today now. This is literally what happens. We literally talk shit about a team, and then they go have the greatest game of their lives. So Utah plus 12.5. Add that to a bonus lock for me. I was off it, and now I'm back on it. All right, now we're really out of here. Scott, anything else for the people before we get up out of here?
No, not really. Once again, 4 games on the slate. I think it's why people like the WNBA show, because half the time you have 2 games on the card and we just talk about nothing for about 30 minutes.
Yep.
I think it's why people like the show. So I'm not going to apologize for anything we talked about on the show. Shane Battier, Utah, whatever you want to talk about. We're fine with it. We don't give a damn.
I don't even know how Shane Battier is gonna get a hit on his name being referenced in the show, and I don't want him to think of it as people thinking of him because it's really fuck Shane Battier.
I'd be happy to have him on the podcast. He knows ball. I'm fine with that.
J. Cole thinks you're lame, so you really got to be lame for sure. All right. That's it. Don't really have anything else. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating and review. Make sure you give us a like on the YouTube stream before you get up out of here. We will see you back tomorrow with this lineup and talking about more games than just 4 and probably a lot more picks. And then we'll probably be talking about how Utah had the game of their lives. So with that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end it like this. We are out of here.